Oh, Sasha, hey there, how's it going? I bet that you're looking pretty pregnant right about now, aren't you?
Hey there, Donna. Yes, I'd say I've gotten pretty big now. The baby bump is certainly noticeable. For anyone with eyes, really.
Well, I heard that you were really nervous about how you were going to raise the child. I even heard that you were asking your mother-in-law for help or any tips that she might be able to give you.
That is very true. I did go to her and ask for some help with this. I mean, this is my first child after all, so I just feel like there are going to be so many things that I don't know. But thankfully, Linda listened to all of my worries and was very good at calming me down and making me feel better.
I see. Well, yeah, I guess that she would be pretty good at that, considering the fact that she's been a mom for decades now. But you could have also come to me and asked for advice too. I'm also a mom, don't you know? Besides, we're basically like sisters, so there's no need to feel embarrassed about asking for a little friend's advice, right? I mean, after all, I'm your brother-in-law's wife. We're basically family, don't you think?
I really do appreciate you offering to help me when I'm nervous, Donna. But I actually really just happened to be visiting Linda when I asked her. It wasn't like I went out of my way to ask her advice specifically.
Wait, hold on a second. Just how often are you meeting with Linda?
Well, I guess pretty often now that I think about it. I mean, you know how easily sick I get, right? Well, she actually comes over to my house pretty often to help me keep the place clean and running. And so I guess we do actually end up spending quite a bit of time together like that and just talk about whatever is on our minds.
Is she coming over to your place because of how often you get sick? Doesn't that make you worried about your pregnancy at all? I mean, are you worried that your condition might affect the baby or something?
Yes, of course I'm nervous about that. I get so worried about my baby. So, I have done all I can to follow the doctor's advice as close as possible in trying to do this the right way.
Wow, I see. I guess I never knew just how fragile your body really was. I mean, you know that I've had 5 kids by this point, right? I never had any problems with a single one of them. They all just popped right out.
See, I really think that's incredible if I can be honest with you. I mean, not only did you go through pregnancy 5 times, but now that your husband has been living away for business, you're raising all 5 of them by yourself. I really just have to come out and tell you that I have nothing but respect for being able to do all of that. I'm really not sure if I could handle it.
I guess you are right about that. I am pretty great now that I think about it, aren't I? Besides, you know all the news about people having less kids, right? I just figure that I'm doing my part to make up the difference is all. Which reminds me, I meant to ask you, just how many kids do you think you and your husband are going to have in the end?
Oh, well, for now, we're just thinking of having 1 kid. I don't think we'd want any more than that. And of course, there's my physical health to be worried about as well.
Wait, what? Are you serious? You're really only thinking of having 1 kid? But that's crazy talk.
Is it really that bad? I mean, did you even know that you were going to want 5 kids before you had them all?
Oh, well, I suppose when you put it that way then now. I didn't really expect this. I always thought that I would only be having a couple of kids. But then all of a sudden I got pregnant a 3rd time, and before you knew it, I had 5 kids.
So then after the 2nd kid, the ones after that just sort of came along?
Basically, yes. It wasn't that I didn't want to have them, but by the time I got pregnant, I figured, what the heck? Why not go through with it?
Wow, that is just... I really don't know if I could do something like that, you know?
Really? Is it that big of a deal? Just what is it about having a kid that makes you so nervous? You know that you can ask me anything you want about the process. I've gone through it quite a bit at this point.
I guess I'm just kind of worried about what I'll do when I go back to work and don't see my kid until I come home. And about how much money I should be putting away for them for their future. And then, of course, there are all kinds of insurance things to worry about. I guess really when it all boils down to it, most of what I'm worried about is money. How do you do it with 5 kids if you don't mind my asking? I mean, no offense, but I can't imagine that it's cheap to raise so many little people, right?
Yeah, it isn't cheap for sure. That's why I don't really bother with any of those funds or savings or putting away things for the future.
Oh, really? You mean you haven't really thought ahead for any of your children at all?
I just think that parenting should be an unplanned and spontaneous kind of thing that gets decided right then and there. I don't really see the point in worrying about something that might not even end up happening in the future, you know?
Well, I guess that makes some sense. But what happens if there is some kind of emergency where you need funds right away? You really can never know what's going to happen, especially with that many children, right?
Nah, it really is all fine. I mean, kids go out and play and they get hurt and then they get better. I just let them raise themselves, basically.
I see. Well, what about college? Do you ever think of that? Or what if one of your kids needs special tutoring or has some expensive camp or activity that they want to try doing?
Meh, I think kids find ways to entertain themselves, you know? You don't need to get them anything too fancy. And as for college, I really don't see what you need that for. I mean, the state says you're an adult at 18, so I think my children should be able to take care of themselves by then. They'll be old enough.
You really think that your children are going to be ready to live on their own right when they turn 18?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they would have basically been raised taking care of themselves, so it'll be an easy transition, really. I guess I'm really just a kind of go-with-the-flow person who really doesn't try to get upset when it comes to raising my kids. Does that make any sense?
So you really don't get mad at your kids for anything? Don't you think there are some things that are maybe worth getting upset at your children for? I mean, how do you teach them that they've done something wrong if they can't see that you're upset?
I don't really think it's my job as their parent to do all that stuff. I think our main job is just to have the kids, and after that, they're on their own. I mean, why else do I pay taxes for schools if not so they can raise my children for me, right? Besides, I don't really see any laws saying that it's my job to do anything more than feed and clothe them, really.
Sure, but I mean... Okay, well, do your kids study well in school?
I would have to say no, given some of the report cards that I've seen. And I never ever see them doing any homework either.
So then, don't their teachers at school get mad at them for not doing their work?
No, I don't really think their teachers get mad at them for anything. I mean, who even cares about homework, really? You know what I mean? Did you know that in other countries, they don't even have homework? Everyone knows that it's just busy work to keep children preoccupied anyways. So I just let my kids play and enjoy their life instead.
So then, if one of your kids did come to you and say that they wanted to go to college, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they are free to make that choice if that's what they want. And then I would tell them to get a job and start saving up for it, because it isn't going to be cheap.
I see. I guess I just always thought it was parents' jobs to try and give their children as many opportunities as possible. So rather than just letting them run around doing whatever they want, you can help guide them towards a future they would want.
Hold on a second. Just what are you trying to say here? Are you trying to imply that I don't care about what happens to my kids?
No, of course not. But it just seems to me that maybe there's not a lot of planning when it comes to them. I mean, you said yourself that you don't save any money for them.
And just who do you think you are to be telling me how I should be raising my kids, huh? I mean, you haven't even had any kids. I don't remember ever asking advice from you anyways. Where do you get off trying to critique how I raise my family?
I'm really sorry, Donna. I didn't mean to upset you or anything like that. I guess I'm just realizing that we have very different outlooks on life. But you've given me a lot to think about, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you for talking to me about all of this. Hey, Donna, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that your kids are all at my house. Do you have any idea what this is about? I don't really remember you saying anything about them coming over.
What are you talking about? Of course I told you that they were going to go over and stay with you for a bit. I'm giving you a little taste of parenthood before you have to deal with the real thing.
I'm sorry, what? I feel like I'm not quite following along. Are you really serious about that?
Well, you were the one who came to me, so worried about being a parent, remember? So I just thought that I'd give you a little taste is all.
I see, but having to take care of all 5 of your children isn't going to make me any less worried about having my own. Besides, taking care of 5 kids all of a sudden is way too much for me. Can you please just come and get them?
Oh, please. What are we talking about? This is going to be a walk in the park for you. After all, you were confident enough about everything to not even come to me for advice first, right?
But the last time that you and I talked about parenting, you just got really mad at me.
Well, that's because you were completely ignoring the advice I was giving you. So since you're that confident, why don't you prove to everyone that you're as good a parent as you say?
I never really said I was a good parent or a bad parent. I'm really sorry if that's what you got from our talk. All I was saying was that I think our views are maybe a little too different from our parents' styles to really have much overlap.
But you don't even have a parenting style yet. Besides, you were acting like you know what was best for my children. So why don't you go on and take care of them and prove that to me then? And if you do a good job, then I won't ever try and tell you how to raise a child ever again.
I'm sorry, but I really don't think I need to go through any of this just to please you.
Are you forgetting who you are in this family? I'll remind you that I'm married to your husband's older brother. That puts me in charge of you, and you have no right to tell me no when I ask you to do these things. Now you are going to watch my children, and that is that. It's only going to be for a few days anyway.
Hold on a second. You're going to leave all 5 of your kids here for a few days?
Well, yes, they're all on summer break, and I told you that I don't sign them up for camps. But I have to go and put them somewhere. So I thought this would be the perfect plan.
No, you can't do this. I mean, my husband just left for a business trip and I'm at home all by myself.
Oh, yes. I know all about that. That's why I chose today to send them over.
But there won't be a moment of peace and quiet around here the whole time that they are here. I told you that I need to keep myself calm so that I don't overexhaust myself while pregnant.
Oh, please. You just want everyone to treat you with kid gloves just because you're pregnant. Well, I am telling you that I've done it 5 times and I never asked anything of anyone. You should be thankful that I'm giving you this chance before you have a child of your own.
Please, Donna, I seriously just won't be able to do this. They are making a huge mess of the house already. Some of your kids are throwing our belongings all over the place. Shouldn't they know better than to do this to someone else's house?
Well, you know that kids will be kids, right? I mean, they're just having a little fun is all. This just goes to show that you need more experience raising them, so you can start to learn with my kids. Oh, Sasha, I just wanted to check on you since it's been a few days. How are things going for you? Shall I come over and pick them up?
You weren't even at home this whole time, were you? I tried calling you a bunch of times, but you weren't picking up.
Well, I figured since I finally had the house to myself that I would take a little vacation with some friends. I had a lovely time. It was just the break I needed from being such a busy mom.
So you left your children at someone else's house so that you could take a trip with your friends? Well, I hope you had fun.
Well, when you're a hardworking mom like me, sometimes you just need a break. I'm sure you'll find out about all that eventually. But anyways, I'm just glad that we're both able to give each other an important experience like this. I hope you enjoyed taking care of my children while I was away.
No, actually, I'm afraid I had to give up on that rather early. It was just doing a number on my body and I couldn't handle all the craziness going on in my house.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that you didn't watch my kids?
That's exactly what I'm telling you right now, yes.
But, wait, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Where are my kids then? What did you do with them, huh?
Well, I took your kids to go stay with their Grandma Linda, of course. I told you that I just couldn't handle them here.
You sent all of my kids to go be with our mother-in-law? Why would you do that?
Because I called her and told her what was going on and that I couldn't handle dealing with all your kids. Then Linda said that she would take care of them for me.
You've got to be kidding me. So you're telling me that for the past few days all of my kids have been with Linda and not you?
That's right. I just knew that I had to send them away since I was pregnant. But I've heard that they were also acting up terribly in front of Linda as well. They even broke several glass things, tore up the carpets, and even destroyed some art in her house.
Did my kids really do all of that? I had no idea at all.
Well, I think even Linda tried to be patient with them at first, but ended up having to call in her husband for help. You did know that Frank used to be a drill sergeant in the military, right? Anyways, I guess the two of them got angry with your children and tried to set them right.
Oh no, this is really bad. This wasn't supposed to happen. I have to go and pick up my children right now.
Yeah, I suppose Linda and Frank are probably wondering whose fault it is that their grandchildren are like that. You three will probably have plenty to talk about when you get there.
But why would they think that it's all my fault? Were you talking poorly about me to them or something?
Oh, I didn't have to do anything of the sort. I think that they figured out just whose fault it is all on their own. After all, why else would all your kids be running around as if they had never even heard of the word manners? But you didn't care about that either way. You just wanted to take your trip, which I was also sure to tell Linda about.
How could you do this to me? I just wanted to give you a chance at raising some kids. I was trying to be friendly.
Is that really what you call being friends? Because it certainly didn't seem that way to me. And I have to say that I didn't learn anything from that experience either. You just dropped off your kids without warning and expected me to be your free babysitter. Well, I heard from Linda that she told you to never talk to her again. I was also talking to my husband, and he said that we should probably keep our distance as well.
But then, that's the whole family. They're all against me now. I can't believe this is happening to me.
Yeah, it sounds like Linda and Frank were really furious with you. I mean, did you even apologize to them?
Of course I apologized to them. The moment they opened the door when I arrived to get my kids, I said I was sorry. But you should have seen the way Linda was looking at me. Her eyes were so cold, and you could tell she was blaming everything on me.
I even heard that Linda called your husband and told him all about what had happened.
It's true, and no, he's not going to be coming back from his business trip this weekend. But he said that he's going to go and stay with his parents for a while.
So I guess if you want to see him, you'll have to deal with all three of them lecturing you, huh? Although I hope you understand how you did this to yourself. Your husband went away on that trip hoping that he could count on you to take care of your family, and you just let the kids do whatever you want.
Shut up! You don't know what it's like to deal with 5 kids. You don't know what I've been through.
Well, whatever it was that you have been through, I hope you at least managed to release some stress while you were on your vacation.
Oh, just stop it already, will you? Did you know that I might get divorced because of you? I even hear that I might lose custody of my children.
Well, who knows? Maybe that might be the best. I mean, someone has to teach those children to behave. Not only that, but those kids need someone who is going to think about their future and make sure they have opportunities when they grow up.
But I gave my children all the opportunities they can have to do whatever they want. How is that any different from what someone else would do?
You know, I thought I respected you because of how many kids you had. I thought that surely you were having them responsibly and making sure to take care of them all. But now I understand that you have got to be one of the worst mothers I have ever seen. I mean, you hardly even do any parenting at all. But at least it sounds like we won't have to be dealing with you for very much longer. Whatever happens, though, I just hope that your children get the chances at a good life that you might have taken from them.
No, this isn't fair. I thought that we were friends. We're sister-in-laws. You can't just do this to me. You can't just leave me like this, please. I don't have anyone else on my side. I need you right now. Can't you see that?
After that, Donna settled down a bit and her texts were much less gloaty than before. Although it didn't change how Linda and Frank about her one bit. After her husband returned from his business trip that had kept them apart, he went to go and stay with his parents to find out about what happened. Donna went over there one day to talk to all three of them, and they decided there that a divorce was in order. Donna tried to protest, but she knew that she wasn't really going to get anywhere. After that, Donna's husband was granted custody of the children, and they all lived with Linda and Frank. I hear that all three of them are being very active in making sure that the children straighten up and fly right. As for Donna, after the divorce, she had to sell her house and move into a much smaller apartment, where she lives all by herself. I can't imagine the grief she must be feeling as a mother, but I wouldn't want my children raised by someone like her. So it's hard for me to truly empathize. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this. Hey Lance, are you there? I was just curious as to whether or not you had already finished working. You remember telling me that you said you weren't going to be coming home late today, right?
Oh, hey Francine. Yeah, don't worry. I'm almost done with work here. I promise you that I won't be late today, okay?
Got it. I'll take your word on that. Just remember, no making little stops along the way either, right? Just come straight home. After all, dinner tonight was made by our very own Daphne.
Hold on a second. You're telling me that Daphne made dinner tonight?
I know! Isn't it just amazing? I'm so proud of her.
I see. Well, what did she end up cooking? What are you going to be having for dinner?
She made potato salad and is roasting some chicken breasts in the oven right now. I told her that if she was going to be cutting and baking things, that I would at least have to be in the kitchen to watch her, of course. But aside from stand there and make sure there were no injuries, she did it all by herself.
Wow. Well, that really is something then, isn't it? I mean, our little daughter cooking her family dinner all by herself. Who would have thought?
I know, our little girl really is amazing. I've just been so proud of her lately. She's always doing her best to be so helpful around the house and help out in any way that she can. And when she gets home from school, she puts away the clean laundry that I leave out right away. She even helps me clean the bathroom sometimes, though I tell her she can't do the bits that involve scrubbing with bleach.
Well, that's good that you have someone around the house that you can count on to help you while you get bigger.
I know, but the thing is that I haven't even had to ask her to do anything at all. But I guess she must know something about what happens when a woman gets pregnant. At least that they get bigger and bigger. So I've just been thankful to have the extra hands around the house.
I think Daphne would make a really good big sister, don't you? But you know, they do say that when a kid gets a little sibling, that they do take on some parental roles and try to copy more of what they see their parents doing. I think that Daphne is probably going to be doing something similar after we have this kid.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. I can see it happening for sure. But I guess that's what happens when you get a new brother or sister. The way you think about being there for others changes.
That's true. And I guess you do hear that only children tend to be a little spoiled because they get all of the attention from their parents. So I guess as long as in the meantime we don't do anything like that, there shouldn't be anything to worry about really, yeah? Either way, I think that this is going to be a great chance for our daughter to grow up and take on some more responsibility.
And to think that all these changes in our daughter took place just over the last few months. I mean, she never throws tantrums, and I've had to talk with her about her behavior much less often now. I really am feeling much better about having this next child, knowing that I can count on Daphne to help.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of, I mean to ask when you think you were going to go back to your parents' house to have the baby. You did the same thing when we had Daphne, right? So I assumed you were going to do it for this time as well.
You're right that I did go back to my parents to have Daphne, but now I'm really wondering if I need to go back to them this time. I mean, I think with Daphne it was more to do with the fact that she was my first daughter. But then again, it would be good to have adults around to help me after I have this baby. We both know how busy of a time it was the last time that we had a newborn.
Yeah, I don't think we got sleep for months after Daphne was born. It certainly wasn't easy, I'll say that much.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Maybe I should try and do this at my parents' after all. I mean, spending a month with them couldn't hurt. I guess that means that you and Daphne would have to get along without me, though, isn't that right?
Yeah, sounds like we really don't have much of a choice now, does it? But I know that we'll do our best without you. Although I would be lying if I said that I wasn't just a little bit nervous.
I knew that you would be just a little worried at the least.
Well, you know me. I just don't know how to take care of the house the way you and I guess now Daphne do. So yeah, I guess you could say that I'm a little worried.
I know, but you really don't need to keep the house spotless. Just do what you can and I'm sure it'll be fine. If you really start getting desperate, though, you can always just keep asking Daphne for some help around the house, okay?
Yeah, I guess you're right. But I just don't know how it would look to rely so much on my daughter for help cleaning the house. I remember when you went away to your parents the first time that it was pretty easy for me. But now I'll have Daphne around here, so I guess things are going to be just a little bit different this time. I guess I won't just be able to get away with wearing the same clothes from yesterday and cooking really easy stuff for myself all the time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe don't do that with our young daughter around the house. But who knows? Maybe she'll want to help you with the laundry and the cooking. You never know.
Well, I just worry that by the time you come back to the house, Daphne will be running things and I won't have anything to do.
You know, if you're really that worried about it, I could always just stay here and have the baby in town. I know that my going away would probably be pretty hard on Daphne as well.
Right. But even after you do have the baby, you're going to need to keep still and rest for a while, won't you?
Well, it is what happened last time. But either way, I just don't think I'll be much use around the house right after I have this baby.
Well, in that case, maybe I should just go back to my parents in the meantime as well.
Wait, what? You mean that while I would be at my parents' waiting to give birth, that you would go to yours until I get back home?
Exactly. Then, nothing would really have to be done at the house, and when we come back, things would be just as we left them.
Well, I guess that's one option for you, but are you really sure that your parents would go along with that?
I think they'd probably be fine with it. I mean, I could still get to work from my parents' place pretty easily. Not to mention the fact that if we were staying with them, they could help with all kinds of things when it comes to taking care of Daphne. Although, I guess her school is just a bit farther from their house though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that Daphne wouldn't have that much longer before her summer break was going to start anyways.
Then I guess the timing of it all really wouldn't be so bad after all. Okay then. I guess that basically seals it. I'll go to my parents' house while you go to yours, and then everything should be just fine.
Well, okay. If that's what you want to do, then I won't stop you. But just please tell your parents how thankful we are for hosting you two.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure to do just that. I think I'll text her right now, actually.
Hey there, Lance. How are things going? How have you been? Are things going well at your parents' house?
Hey there, Francine. Yeah, things are going great. Thanks for asking. Even Daphne is really enjoying herself. How are things for you? I hope that you haven't been too bored without us. Are your parents doing okay?
Yeah, everyone here is doing just fine. Thank you for asking.
Perfect. And what about the baby? How is he doing? Is everything okay with him?
He's doing just fine. But basically all he does all day is drink milk and cry, if I'm being honest. And man, this little guy can really cry. I think he must have had a lot of pent-up emotion being inside me all that time. It must feel good to get it all out.
Well, as long as our little guy is healthy, that's all that really matters to me. But I remember that Daphne was really quiet when we took her home, remember? I guess this is kind of new for us then.
Yeah, I suppose you're right about that. It's been so long since we had Daphne, I forgot what it was like to have a little baby again. Oh, he really is a cutie. I wish that you both could have been here when I had him. I'm so excited for Daphne to meet her new little brother.
And me. I want to meet the little fella too, you know? We're both so excited and talk about getting to meet the newest member of our family all the time. We look at the pictures that you sent us so often as well.
Do you really? Aw. Well, now that I know that, I'll be sure to send you even more photos then. You know, I was also worried about Daphne, though. Has she been okay living out there with you and your parents?
I think that she gets a little bored only having us to hang out with from time to time. But she isn't throwing any kinds of fits or crying about it. And I think she's gotten really good at finding ways to keep herself entertained ever since we arrived here.
I see. Wow, I really am just so proud of her. I really was worried that being this far away from home for so long was really going to affect her. But I guess this must mean that she's really ready to take on the role of being an older sister now, don't you think?
I know it's a bit cliche, but they really do grow up so fast, and our little girl is no exception at all. If anything, being here has been the hardest on me. I really miss you, and I can't wait to meet our new child.
Well, don't worry. I certainly feel the same way. I miss you all so much, and I can't wait to see you both. I was thinking that maybe you two could come over and see me here at my parents' house next weekend?
I think I already have something scheduled for this weekend, unfortunately. Actually, my parents have a little vacation planned, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really? And just where were they thinking of going on this little vacation of theirs?
I think they were going to try and go to Hawaii and hit up a few of the islands over there.
Oh, wow! That'll be so exciting! What an amazing trip!
Yeah, they are really excited for this trip. I know that they've always talked about wanting to go at least once. And since Daphne and I were here, they asked us if we would like to go along with them as well.
So you're all going to get to go together? That really is great for you all. I would be lying if I said I wasn't jealous.
I know, but I really am sorry that that's what we'll be busy doing while you're at your parents' house. Promise that when you get back, we'll find something for us to do as well.
Well, I'm not really in any rush to pack up my bags and go traveling around anywhere right now. I would much rather relax and concentrate on the baby. So I have no problem actually being stuck here while you all go do this. Make sure to have lots and lots of fun for me, though.
Of course. But I'll be honest, I probably won't be able to help feeling bad about leaving you out of this. We'll really miss you, Francine.
I promise you that I'll be just fine. And besides, it's Daphne's summer break. She shouldn't spend all of that time just with her grandparents. It'll be good for you and her to make some good summer memories together. Besides, it's not like I can even go on a flight right now with this newborn, so I think it's great that you two are going out and not letting us slow you down.
You never do anything of the sort, my dear. But anyways, I'll make sure we have enough fun for everyone.
That's great, Lance. Tell Daphne that I miss her and can't wait to see her, okay? Hey there, sweetie. How's it going? I hope that you and your dad are enjoying your little vacation together.
Mom, it's been so long since I've heard from you.
I know. I really am so sorry that I can't be there for you right now. When I heard you were all taking this trip together, I really did wish that I could go. But surely you must be having enough fun with your grandparents and dad to make up for that, right? Anyways, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay and enjoying your vacation.
But I didn't even go on the trip.
Wait, what? What do you mean you didn't go on the trip? Did you all end up not going or canceling or something? Did something bad happen?
No. I mean that they all left me here and went to go on the trip by themselves. Even Dad isn't here.
Sorry, let me just try and get this straight then. You're telling me that you're all alone at your grandma's house right now? I don't understand. Why would they leave you like that?
Well, they said that I wasn't really part of the family, so it would be my job to watch over the house.
They said you weren't part of the family? Are you sure they weren't talking about me?
Well, Grandma has been saying all kinds of really mean things about you ever since Dad and I got here. And to be honest, Grandma has been bullying me too. She told me that I look like you and she keeps calling me stupid. I don't get what's going on though. Why doesn't Grandma like you, Mom?
I really don't know at all. I mean, I never really thought that we didn't get along or anything like that.
Well, you should tell Grandma that because I don't think she knows that yet. I don't know about Grandpa so much. But Grandma has been saying really mean things about you and I, that's for sure. I just don't say anything and listen to her, but I don't like what she says one bit.
So it is true that your grandmother and I aren't the closest of people. We do have a history of butting heads. But I still don't understand why she thinks that makes it okay to be mean to you. I'm so sorry that you've had to go through all this, Daphne. This must be so hard on you.
Well, it did make me pretty sad, yeah. But I didn't cry. I promise. But the reason I didn't cry is because Grandma always laughs at me whenever I do.
So that's why you've been holding everything in? I'm so sorry you've been through this, dear. Why didn't you reach out to me and say anything? I would have loved to know about this sooner.
Well, I couldn't reach out to you. You just had a baby. I just didn't want to worry you with things that were going on all the way over here. It's only been a month since we left anyways.
I know, but you should know that you don't have to take being treated like that.
But I'm going to be a big sister from now on, right? It's important for me to know how to be patient and let nothing get to me.
Daphne, you are going to be a brilliant older sister, and I have no doubts about that. But you are also a kid, and you don't deserve what's happening.
You know, Dad even told me not to tell you that they had left me here to watch the house.
You're kidding me. He really told you not to tell me about that? I would have thought that he would have stood up for you and tried to help you.
No, he never does anything like that. And whenever Grandma would make fun of me, Dad would just laugh along with her. So I never said anything to Dad because I knew that he wouldn't have done anything for me anyways. Then I thought that this was bullying too, right? And that Dad was actually bullying me. And that's why I thought that I had to tell you about it. You always told me to tell you if anyone was ever bullying me, remember?
Of course, dear. You've done very well to tell me about all of this. I really am so proud of you. Thank you so much for telling me about this. I really do mean that.
But Mom, I don't want to be in this house anymore. I want to be with you. And my baby brother. I hate being here where everyone is so mean.
Right. I'm so sorry, dear. I can't help but think that it's partially my fault you ended up in this situation. I really do hope that you can forgive me for not being there for you more.
Mom, you shouldn't say that this is your fault. It's not your fault at all. And it certainly isn't my baby brother's fault either. Grandma and Dad are the ones being mean here.
You're right, Daphne. Anyways, I'm going to go and pick you up right now. You won't have to stay there any longer. Just get your bags ready, okay?
Hey there, Daphne. Where are you? Daddy just got back from his vacation and I can't find you anywhere. Are you out playing or something right now?
Hi, Dad. I'm actually at Grandma and Grandpa's house right now.
Really? But I thought that I've looked everywhere for you and I can't find you anywhere. Are you trying to play hide and seek with me or something like that?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm not at that Grandma and Grandpa's house. I'm at the other one.
Wait, what? What do you mean the other Grandma and Grandpa's house? I'm afraid I'm not following.
Well, I don't think of the Grandma and Grandpa over there as my grandparents anymore. After all, Grandma said that I'm not even part of the family, remember? So now I'm with my real grandparent.
So you're telling me that you're with your mom's parents right now then? I don't get it though. They live so far from here. How did you manage to get all the way over there?
Well, yesterday Grandma and Grandpa came to pick me up from here. They knew I was here alone because I told Mom that you all left me behind. They told me that I could go home and stay with them and Mom for a while.
Wait a second. You told your mom everything?
Yeah, I did. And she got really mad when I did.
Right, well, Daphne, I am very, very sorry for leaving you behind and I shouldn't have done that. But I hope you realize that I didn't have any choice. I mean, it was your grandma's decision and we have to listen to what she says.
But I told you that I didn't even want to go and stay with them in the first place. I thought that it was just going to get to be the two of us taking care of the house together while Mom was away.
I know, but you know how bad I am at doing the chores, don't you? I can't really function without someone around the house to do things for me. I really don't think that you have that much fun if it was only the two of us.
So basically you're saying that you would rather sacrifice your daughter's happiness just so that you wouldn't have to do any work around the house? And you didn't even speak up for your own little girl when your mom was saying all kinds of horrible things to her?
Oh, wait a second. Is this Francine?
That's right. And I know about all that you've put our poor little girl through. Could you do that to her, Lance? I thought that you were a better father than that. How could I have been so wrong?
No, wait, hold on. You do have it wrong, I swear. Of course I love our daughter. Well, you know my mom. She has to have things her way.
I don't want to hear it from you. I know all that I need to know about you after this.
Wait, no, please. I can come over and see you right now. Please, I haven't even met my son.
And you never will. It's clear that you don't think of us as your family, and if that's how you feel, then fine. The three of us can be more than happy by ourselves, and we don't need or want you around. In the end, Lance did try coming to my parents' house to apologize, but my dad just chased him off the moment he stepped out of his car. I might have listened to what he had to say, but my parents weren't about to allow me to put myself in that position. I texted Lance later that I would be hiring a divorce lawyer and that he would be hearing from me through her. I heard that after the divorce, Lance went into a depression so bad that he even had to quit his job. Now I hear that he's living with his parents full-time now, and that they both have to take care of him. I don't know how they do it, only having their retirement to live off of, but I'm sure one of all of them have had to go back to work now. As for Daphne, my son and I, we all took some time to stay with my parents while I found a new place for us, far away from Lance and his horrible family.